How's everyone doing today? It is, I am clipping. Turn the mic down just a little bit. There we go. Loud noises. There we go. Okay. How is everyone doing? It is, what day is it? It's Thursday. It's Thursday. Hi, it's Thursday early afternoon for me. I've got a bunch of stuff to do. So I figure I turn the camera on and we do stuff. Let me close the door. So, today's stream, only got about an hour and a half, but I know you guys in, the European continent, miss out on a lot of my streams, unfortunately, due to the time zone differences and the fact I stream on Saturday nights, because I work steady afternoons for those that don't know. So I try to do the odd daytime stream for you guys, which is what I'm doing right now. So, we've got some plans. Whatever we don't finish today, we'll finish up on Saturday night. So I think we're going to skip Toasty Boy for this weekend, simply for the fact of timing. I kind of want to get this done and over with so I can start testing the spider board. Because I haven't tested it yet, and a lot of people want to know how it is. On paper, it's good, but nobody's running a production version yet. So I want to get this installed. So we're going to get started today, and whatever we don't finish up. How's everyone doing today? Hello from Denmark. Hello from Germany. Ah, yes, the Euro bros are all here. Guten Tag. Okay, so what's on the docket for tonight? Oh, we got a few things. Spider board. We're going to be putting the spider board in, or getting as far as we can. So we got the fysetc spider. I have a video on this. If you want to go, I won't go over it, but I went through the whole overview, basically why this board is awesome. There's a video on my channel. If you want to buy one of these, I have an affiliate link in the description. If you buy it through the affiliate, portion goes to me, helps out the channel. We're going to be putting a LGX in. This is the one I ripped out of Tallboy. So Tallboy doesn't have an extruder right now. We're going to be putting some new AB motors in V2.026. So I've been running the 64-ounce OMC stepper motors for like 3 years on this guy. There's nothing wrong with them. The reason I am swapping out to these beefier ones, these 84-ounce spec ones, the LDOs, is because I'm using a pre-made wire harness that already has the connectors for it. Okay, so I don't want to change these to microfit 3s and adapt them and yada yada. It's honestly gonna be easier for me to just swap out the motors. So John Clark, $20, thank you, appreciate it. Lest me narrow for I have sinned, I printed PETG yesterday and I felt so wrong, please forgive me. I legit have not printed PETG in about two and a half years. I still have one spool that I used when I printed my original V1.5, and I haven't bought any since then. What else? Oh yeah, and I got a bunch of printed parts. So, let me get the music going here. I don't know why it's a little dark over here. I got all lights on. Yeah, good enough. Okay, so Michael, thank you for coming. Remember, this is V2.026, okay? This is the first V2 I built. It's been upgraded down the line. So this was originally a V2.0, then a 2.1, then a 2.2, then a 2.4. The problem I have with it is, and it's not really a problem, but the problem with the printer is I have a tendency to upgrade it when we're doing beta testing. For those unawares, I am on the Voron dev team. So during testing of a revision, I will put beta parts on it, and then I'll never upgrade them, okay? So, to give you an idea, let me get the mobile camera out here. So this is the tool head I got on it, okay? Now, it does look like an afterburner, and it is an afterburner, but this is the original afterburner tool head from beta days. So just to compare it to the actual current afterburner, you can see it's a bit fatter. So, and it doesn't go together as neatly. You have to put it together in some weird order. So it's a beta afterburner. So we're going to be upgrading that. So I probably will run into issues during this because I got a feeling I'm going to have parts in here that may not be compatible. But we'll deal with that when we get to that. I still have the 2.2 panel clips to hold everything on with tape to seal up any holes because I've cut so many holes in the back of this panel over the years. Where are my schnips? Gotta cut some. So hopefully, oh yeah, and the Wireloom. The Wireloom in this thing is legit, probably about 2 years old now. It is a Wireloom from when this was last a 2.1. I haven't changed it since then. So it's silicone wire. It's got thousands of hours on it. It's still holding up. So we'll check it for damage, because this has a ton of hours on it, this machine. The belts are all original. Everything's pretty original. Like, I've still got plastic in here from I don't even know when. But the last time any work's been done on this printer was about a year and a half ago, before 2.4 went live, was the last time any work's been done on this printer. Michael Campbell, $20. Thank you. Appreciate it for the coffee fund. Oh, yeah. Went to bed at 3:30 a.m. I've been up since 7:30 a.m. It is just after 1:30 p.m. And I got to go to work at 3:30 to work till 12:30. So the stream will probably end around 3 o'clock because I got to make lunch before I go to work. Carol, thank you for becoming a member. V2.026 is my favorite printer. This is my workhorse. This is the printer I use when I'm printing parts for my other printers, or like this is my workhorse printer. This is the one that gets the most hours. It's always got filament in it. It's always on. This is my go-to. And then after this, lately it's been switch wire for my non-ABS duties, which with switchwire, I've been having issues with the bed, because it's the Triangle Labs bed, which isn't that good, the flex plate. But had a little care package from Sparta 3D came in today. Open it. Oh yeah. Some LDO PEI. Oh, that's much better. Never liked the Triangle Labs PI flex plate. Never worked too good for me. Greetings from work. You should be at work. Switchwire. Wow, really? Why? What's wrong with switchwire? Okay, so we have that. We have that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to unplug the camera now. Find it. There we go. I've had this like boom camera arm type thing. You can find the file for this on Thingiverse. That's where I got it. I printed this like 3 years ago, back on my V1. Back when Tallboy was a V1. Do you think closed loop motors can help anything on a board? Nope. Waste of money. On pretty much all 3D printers, I believe closed loop motors will buy you nothing, because you can already outrun most hot ends with the current NEMA 17s and decent steppers, and by decent steppers, TMC 2209s, for example. And then when it comes to skip step detection and like, you know, correcting for losing a step, I haven't had a layer shift from either something that would ruin the print anyways, such as a massive warp on the print, or trying to go way too fast in gears. So as long as your printer is tuned properly and you have your settings dialed in, you really shouldn't be skipping steps. So I see closed loop steppers as kind of a, not worth it. So we'll take the wiring loom off. We'll replace the tool head, replace the motors, and we'll just go from there. Yes, my switch wire is dual Bowden. So it's got a Y splitter in it. Still an i3. So the thing is, everyone jokes, you know, haha, bed flinger. You guys do understand there are CNC machines that do that move 40,000 pound fixtures on beds just fine. Like, being a bed flinger is nothing wrong as long as it's mechanically built well. It's just you can't really pull the speeds that Core XY can. However, nowadays with input shaper and all the fancy tools at our disposal, the gap isn't as big as it used to be. Like, it used to be a bigger difference, but with proper tuning, proper setups, it's not like what it used to be, in my opinion. Don't break the plastic parts, try and keep them. I don't know why I'm trying to keep the plastic parts. I don't think I'm going to reuse them. Well, in case I screw it up and I got to put it back together because I forgot to print something. That's why I need to keep the plastic parts. Okay, so we got that. What on end is a switch wire? It is a Dragonfly BMO. Anything against running the Spider on a simple CR20? Yeah, nothing wrong with it. So here's the thing. A lot of people, it's not like the old days, okay? In my opinion, this is, you know, everything on the stream is my opinion. Take it as you will. Your controller board doesn't matter anymore. Like, if it's a new controller board, a modern controller board, it has no effect on your printer. It doesn't matter who you buy it from. If it is a 32-bit controller board with TMC 2209s, you are literally within like margin of error in terms of print quality differences with any board. What really matters on your controller board is the build quality of it. And by that, I mean like QC issues, like some are having right now. And does it have the features you want? Okay. For example, the stock board for a Creality printer, my Ender 3 V2, has 32 bits and TMC 2208s. Now, 2208s and 2209s pretty much perform exactly the same. 2208s run a little bit hotter, and the 2209s can give it a little bit more juice. But in terms of print quality, they're about the same, okay? So, if I, you know, upgrading to a 32-bit board with that versus, or upgrading the controller board, I'm not going to get better print quality. What I'll gain is the ability to adjust motor currents through software instead of having to adjust a pot, more hookups for things. That's what I'm looking into for upgrades, okay? But for the most part, it's not like the 8-bit days when it's like, oh, I went to a smoothie board, I got a massive performance increase. Your controller board doesn't matter. You made a stock cable cover for the LGX. It's in the user mods channel. Awesome. I'll print that off after I build the printer back up. Because right now, Tallboy doesn't have a hot end in it, and or an extruder in it, and this guy is getting ripped apart. So. Link to the flex plate. Printed Solid carries them. I got mine from Sparta 3D, where if you're in Canada, Sparta 3D is the LDO distributor. Yeah. What make of Mark 52 bed? LDO, they're the ones that make them for Prusa, so you might as well go with LDO. So this part I'm keeping because this is actually current rev. So this is the mosquito in the current fan ducts. And let's see how toasted they are. So these have been running for about a year now. Yeah, a little melty, but they'll do. I'll keep them. So, trying to remember how to take this apart, because I believe this is the old revision where you can't just take it apart easily. Print the parts on the ender with cardboard box, like you tell us to do. Well, I could do that. I have the like the temporary ones on hand already, so I'll probably just get it back up and running, and then just use that. Totally didn't watch the first part to catch up. Didn't miss much. So all in all, I will say this thing's had a year of, or almost a year and a half of use, and I've had 0 issues. The only issue I've had with this afterburner after a year and a half of use was on this part right here. The original part I had in here, the little this toggle arm with the heat set insert, the heat set pulled out. It probably wasn't, it was printed a little too loose. But other than that, that is the only issue I've had on this thing in a year and a half of use. So the afterburner works well. No issues there that I'll complain about. Pull up my old probe. And for people asking about probes, $3 Fysetc that I've had for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years. Not even melted. Save that. Loosen the belts. The SLA came in the mail. No, it has not. It has left customs. It is in the hands of Canada Post for processing, and it's been like that since Monday. I was really hoping it would show up this week so I could do something on stream with it. But alas, I have no resin printer. I've got, you know, a wash and cure station already ready to go for it. I've got jugs of ISO. I got resin. I just need the actual printer. So now I probably could. Do I want to reuse? No, I'll use the updated one. Print a spare. Honestly, okay, so when it comes to spares, I used to be really good for this, but I don't anymore because I have multiple printers. But if you only have like one printer, or just one printer set up to print ABS, honestly, what you should do is after you get your Voron built, one of the first things you should do is literally just run off a whole set of Voron parts. Like, obviously, you don't need to worry about skirts and whatnot, but run off like a whole set of all like the critical components for it, and just put them in a filament box and just stash them somewhere. Because even on this, like it saves you if like, oh no, I accidentally, you know, where is it? The this is red because I accidentally cracked the one on here while I was playing with it or like changing something out a while ago. And it's a lot easier just to grab something out of a box and throw it on than to, okay, now I got to set up my printer. I got to print it. I got to wait. No, I just grab it out of the box, throw it on, swap it out. You're good. Because for the most part, most parts on this printer, you can swap out by themselves relatively easily. Anything on the gantry, you may have to loosen the belts, but... There we go. So, just to compare, this is the beta tool head mount. And as you can see, it doesn't have that rotating pivot piece down here. It's solid. Now, I never had issues with it, but during testing, some people had binding issues. So it was changed to where it now has that little pivot where it can kind of take up a little bit of slack if there's an issue. So. Considering a resin printer, I'm excited to get it. I wanted to play with a resin printer for a while. The problem is I just can't justify it. I don't do a lot of like the little, you know, models and whatnot. So for me, a resin printer is kind of like, oh, this is cool, but I can't justify buying one, you know. But then, can I get the magnet out? Banggood's like, hey, do you want a resin printer? And I'm like, yes, I do. So they sent me one. Okay, we got that out. Let's start taking belts out, and then we'll swap the motors, and then we'll start putting it back together. So the wire loom in here is silicone. It's all PTFE greased up because I'm running China chains. And one thing I forgot, I'm running zip chain for my Z, so I'm going to have to save those pieces because I don't think I have the right pieces to, I don't think I have 10-15 drag chain with the ends on hand. But I got zip ties somewhere. I brought a bunch. Zip ties. D&D miniatures justified. Yeah. See, if I still played Warhammer 40K, oh, I totally would have got resin printed a while ago. Just to piss off the Games Workshop lawyers. Is this an after early shift or pre-late shift stream? I work steady afternoons. So this is a pre-work stream. So I figure I got about an hour and a half. Well, I got about an hour now. So I figure why not? Go live, work on this for a bit. And then whatever I don't finish, we'll finish on Saturday. So we're going to take a break from Toasty Boy this week. Because I'm still waiting on the replacement panels to come in. And I need those before I can do the electronics. No biggie. What connector is that? JST? Oh, okay. Ooh, that might be an issue. That might be an issue. We shall see. I'm gonna have to wash my hands after this. They're covered in grease. Have I seen or read anything about the filamentum filament? The Nolian? No, what is it? Is it like a biodegradable or something filament? D-Force is an alternate store for Triangle Labs for the most part. Remember, Triangle Labs is just a storefront. They don't make the dragon. I need to keep this piece. Yeah, I need to save this piece. Is the Mosquito the only hot end that can do cold nozzle changes? No, any bimetallic heat break can do it. Because when you have brass on copper, they expand into each other when they heat up. Okay, so this might be an issue. Let me see if I can get it on camera. Rotate pivot. Move all this. Okay. So, for those that have built a V2, this right here should be a slot right here, okay? On mine, it's a hole, because this is a early revision XY joint that I didn't realize was that. So, I'm hoping I can get down through there. Otherwise, I'm going to have to reprint these. Oh well. Deal with that when we get to that. I'm not too concerned. Is the spider board available for Marlin? I believe there is a Marlin config for it. You should be able to run Marlin on it, no problem. Why would you? But you could. Yeah, if you check the fysetc Spider GitHub, it has the stock configs for Klipper for V2, I believe, and Marlin, like firmware. Part's gonna suck. So, my Z chain is zip chain. It's the printed one. I've never actually changed it. So I gotta keep all these little plastic pieces because I gotta reuse it. Put them in this box. Which I actually don't mind the zip chain. The zip chain works great. And no, I've never tried pans or chain. I know every time I mention zip chain, somebody's like, oh, have you tried pans or chain? No, I have not. The amount of Germans in the stream is steadily red. So, fun fact, after Americans, according to YouTube, my next biggest audience is Germans, and then Canadians. No. Okay, so that is that. Because this belt is getting a little all over the place, I'm going to put the, at least the carriage on, and then I'll flip it over and do the rest. But take a look right now. So this is silicone, and actually my motor wires aren't even silicone, they're PVC. So after roughly 2 years of use, now granted these are silicone wires in China chain, and they're all PTFE greased to all hell. I've got no damage. Like, there's little bits of plastic, but I don't know if that's, you know, just from the printer or what. Because there's still residue on here from when these were wrapped in Tessa tape back when these were in a tape chain. But like a year and a half of use, and there's no I don't know if that's discoloration, but I'm seeing like no worn out silicone, so good enough. Okay, let's get this on so I don't lose all my... Oh yeah, I gotta change the motors out. Change the motors first. Any noticeable benefit shielding the motor wires? I never shielded motor wires, and I've never noticed an issue. Yes, I'm using ISO to clean the grease off my hands. That's all I have on hand. Okay. Change some motors. Even these, the AB motor mounts I'm using, are old revisions. Any damage to the 20 tooth? Nope. Even the belts are in surprisingly good shape. They're Gates belts. They've also got about 2 years of a runtime on them. You can tell they are used. Like, there obviously is some wear on them, but there's no actual, like, damage. So, I'm going to keep them in. When you go to print the parts, Ken, check the manual. There's the printing guidelines in there. Just follow those. When it comes to new rails, honestly, flush them with like ISO or brake cleaner. Like, make sure it's a brake cleaner that's safe for plastic. But any sort of light cleaner or degreaser, flush them out and then just re-grease them. Most rails now come a lot better than they used to, and you really shouldn't have to worry about like having to disassemble. You really shouldn't disassemble them anymore unless they come really messed up. which I haven't seen in a while. And if you get any of the recommended brands, really shouldn't be an issue. Yep. Yeah, honestly, it was quicker to swap out the motors than it is to adjust the wiring loom, crimp new connectors on it so that they fit with the microfit 3s. So I didn't take the lazy way, but I took the lazy way. They're still 1.8s, they're just beefier. Just that down. Yep. Once I get everything belted in, I'm actually gonna, like, in the belts retensioned and everything, I'll go through and make sure these are at the right height and properly, like, Loctited. Go. Okay, beefier LDO motors. Fix that, fix that. There we go. How's the carriages? Everything still good there? Yeah, good enough. Put a little grease on them after. There is my grease. Where'd I lose the cap? Oh, there's the cap. Good enough. Good enough. Or V0. Guys, I'm running out of room. Like, I am legit running out of room here for all these printers. Like, you've seen the room. I don't have that much. Go. Okay, now it's time for everyone's favorite thing to do. Install some heat set inserts. Heck yeah, buddy. Heck yeah, buddy. So what, it's 2 there. I can reuse that. That already has them. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's just the 2 there. I think we only need the 2. Okay. Just Steve, notice me, senpai. I've noticed you. Thank you for upgrading your membership. Should partner up with school. The problem is I don't have disposable printers, right? Like the only like mass market printer that I would feel safe giving to somebody would be like the Ender 3, which I've already modded. When it comes to like giving printers to school, don't give a school your Voron, okay? Vorons are amazing printers. I love them. The problem is they are not a they're not a newbie printer. There's no online help or support for them. They're not great for that. They're not great for school. Same with like work. If you're like, oh, work needs a printer, I'm going to build them a Voron. Don't, because then you're going to be the guy responsible for taking care of the Voron. I think it's just the 2. Yeah. Let me drill these out just to be on the safe side. Priorities? What priorities? Disregard work. 3D printing streams is your priority. M3 nuts. I'm out of M3 nuts. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope. M3 nuts. Drop a camera. M3 nuts, M3 nuts, M3 nuts. Hi from Monaco. Hello. By the way, that whole little send me a picture of your printer. I've got like almost 100 submissions for that. So I'm gonna have to sit down. I'm gonna try and do it this weekend and go through and basically react to all of them and try and throw together a video. I did not expect to get that many submissions, so I think I'm gonna shut it down for now. I did not expect to get that many. I might have to swap out this probe. I'm going to swap out this probe. Let me see. I think I have more. Because I kind of want to use a different, well, not a different probe, but one that has a longer cable. So I can make it fit to the Wireloom better. PL05N, yeah. Yellow 5. I thought I had... Yeah, we'll go with this one. There we go. So I'm swapping out the probe. The old probe's fine. The only reason I'm swapping it out is simply for the fact that the cable on it's a little short, and I'm going to want to make it a proper length. Thiago, 1427 US. I think that's US. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sup Nero double T 0448. Okay. The numbers. What do the numbers mean? Discord tag. When you collab with Joel for Boron, can you get an LDO to sponsor a kit and charity auction off with proceeds go to charity? Well, unfortunately, Joel is kind of on the other side of the continent in another country during a global pandemic. So yeah. Although apparently Tom Solander is building a V2, so that should be fun. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me set the probe height. That'll do. That's good there. That's good there. Where is my little cross piece? You go there. And I know I'm not being as talkative as I normally am. I'm legit trying to get as much done as I can on this stream. Because of the short time span we have to work with. So... Actually, no, that ain't it. So it's M5/8s. These guys. Right, yeah. I think the Voron community does not have the best... I don't know what you're talking about. We actually like the guy. He makes some very good... Lately, his content has been very good. Like, he does a lot of in-depth stuff. kind of funny when people think they like, oh, the team doesn't know that the team actually likes Tom. Jared, I'm working on I've ripped apart my V2. I've got to get it working. I've got 3 hours to the deadline and the prom is tomorrow. Which cable type diameter to use for V0 from the heat bed to the mains? Use the diameter that comes on the heater mat. That's what I would use. Okay, these 8mm. I think these are 8mm. I have to drill those out too, I think. Prom is right about what? Oh, prom is tonight? Oh my god! And I'm in my underwear! By the way, I'm gonna try and have merch. I've got I got one design kind of done. I just gotta actually like make it a reality. And then also, I've got a few other things that not quite as intricate, but like saying type thing. So I might have merch soon. So why not? It's fun. So keep your eyes out. I don't know who to use for merch. I think I can get some through YouTube. Like there's a way with YouTube because I am big fancy content creator with over 10,000 subscribers. I can have a merch store on YouTube itself, I believe. But I'm gonna try and throw together some merch because why not? Doggo shirt. I might try and pull a doggo shirt. But probably like only benchies to start. Branded apron. The problem with the apron is it's I'd have to find somebody who does aprons, right? Like it's not like a t-shirt. T-shirt, you just everyone does t-shirts. The aprons would be something a little where's the screw? There it is. Okay. Hi from Chile. Ooh, I can go for some chili. Hope you're enjoying working with our copper. Yes, there's a lot of copper mines in Chile. I know that. I remember the guys that got stuck underground for like 3 months or whatever. I remember that. You know, lube cam shirt. Actually hearing the dog outside the room. Give me a minute here, guys. I like that smash button shirt. I want to do a like that smash button shirt. I need to figure out art for that. I got a few ideas. And it's all for fun, right? Although, I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say that the way things are going, if they were going just a little bit better, I may be able to do this full time. But we'll see. I love screwing in screws upside down and without being able to see them. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's that. That's that. Tight. Tight. Never make your hobby your job. You know what, though? I'm actually enjoying doing this. Like, technically, my hobby is already my job. I like working with machines and making shit, and I do that at work. There you go. So that's still good there. Feed these belts back in. Get something to hold them in place so they don't go flying everywhere. Good to go. Groove mount needs to dye a shirt. The funny thing is, that's the only reason I don't like the V6 is the groove mount. The V6 is a perfectly suitable hot end. It works just fine. It just, I don't like groove mount. I like my rigid mounting options. This 3D printer to make a prom dress. It's funny, that's like the... So, like, if you watch local news, which, who watches the news anymore? But every year you always have those puff pieces that you always see. Like, they're news stories that appear all the time. And you always have, local student makes prom dress out of duct tape. News at 11. It's like the most common one I see is every year somebody makes a prom dress out of duct tape. Or on theme, mouse mat match. If I do merch... Or, correction, I'm in the process of it. When I do merch, it won't be Voron themed. While I am on the Voron dev team, and I work on Vorons a lot on this channel, I do want to try and keep this separate, okay? So, yeah. The views and opinions expressed by Nero 3DP do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the Voron development team on this channel, or whatever legal mumbo jumbo means that. So. Gotta hit up Fermio. I got a Sparta 3D shirt. It's, I'll wear it on the stream on Saturday. I got a shirt from Sparta 3D. Okay. What time is it? 2:30. Okay. So it looks like I should be able to at least get the spider installed. So Saturday night, we might be doing the wiring. Come on, get in your hole. A little bit more slack. There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, the camera angle ain't the greatest right now. I'm sorry. Just trying to play the dance between trying to get it done quick as possible. Let's go there. Let's go there. There, you get on there, you get on there. Did you participate in speedboat race? I did a speed benchy before NX made it a competition. And then that was pretty much it. I did the one before. So Mirage did his speedboat thing, speed benchy. I did one in like 14 minutes as a video. I just put it up on my channel. And then like a couple days later, I did a stream doing them just for fun. And I think I got it under 10 minutes. I think I got it down to 10 minutes. And then that was it. I haven't done one since. And then there's now a competition about it, but whatever. I view the speedboat benchy thing as kind of the same as CPU overclocking. Josh Murray right now, I think he is doing like the fastest on Vorons at the moment. But it's cool to watch, but it's really not a practical everyday thing. It's just cool to watch. There we go. So we've got belts in. Oh, I haven't killed a bearing yet. So we're good there. I have so many emails. Why do I have so many emails? Okay, I'll check them later. Don't have time. Belts would suffer a lot. Not really. You gotta remember, like, they're designed for industrial and commercial use. So, some people think you're putting a lot of stress on them. You're really not putting as much. There's barely any load on them. So, what have you learned from making printers that you use in tool making and vice versa? Well, building 3D printers out of printed plastic doesn't really transfer too much to 100,000 pound P20 tool steel injection molds. But I try to bring over what I can. If anything, it's the other way. So I'm pushing the loom through right now. Because right now, you're going to see some stuff under the hood here. Okay. Under the hood of this printer, it's a bit like stepping through a time machine. Okay. You're going to see things under here that haven't been the norm in a while. Okay. Remember, this started as a V2.0 back before the Klipper days. So before standardized layouts, before DIN rails, before any of the fancy stuff. So there's still Cat 5 under here, put it that way. Roland, 10.99 euro, thank you, appreciate it. Just to encourage daytime streams. Hey, I would love to do these more often. The problem is I have to work with like a fixed time schedule, right? I only have another 25 minutes and then that's it. I got to go make lunch and then go to work. That's why I don't like doing daytime streams too often, because I hate finishing, like not being able to finish what I want to do on stream. Like at least on the Saturday streams, I can, run late if I want to, right? I can do a 3-4 hour stream. I can't really do that right now because I got to go to work. What do you think about Dragon DMCA take? It's not a DMCA thing. It's a patent thing. It's patent law. And technically they have the right to do it because their patent covers utility, which is basically saying, I make cars with 4 wheels, and if you make car with 4 wheels, you're copying me. No copy me. Really breaking it down there. But I don't agree with the utility patent. Dragon, well, Brunus, the company that makes the Dragon and the Perfatus and TL, they actually went through and they designed the hot end from scratch so that it wouldn't look like a Mosquito at all. Like there's literally 0 parts compatibility between the two. And personally, I like the way the Dragon does it better because I hate dealing with the thermal paste and the layout of the heater block on the Mosquito. I don't like it. I'd rather have a V6 style block on it. But they still got them with the patent, so it is what it is. So now you can buy the exact same hot end, but you can buy it without the 4 pieces of surgical steel tube. So it's basically like the Dragonfly, because you notice the Dragonfly never got taken down. It was never an issue with bimetallic heat brakes, right? You can still get a Dragonfly. You can't get a Dragon, okay? But you can get a Dragon without the structural member that connects them, and then you can buy a wind chime. So using graphite as dry lube. I've used it in machine guns in the Arctic before, but on a 3D printer on the rails, I wouldn't. Okay. Welcome to under the hood of a printer that's been every revision of a Voron that does not have any standard components. Wrong camera. Say hello to the rat's nest. The machined aluminum parts are really kind of a waste in my opinion. Some parts do benefit a little bit from it, like the XY joints and the AV motor mounts. Some parts are completely useless doing in aluminum. And we have somebody on the team who's been running them, and there's 0 print quality differences. So, John Clark, former reserves, and I did Arctic warfare training at one point. Okay, so under the hood here, we have a little bit of everything. So, you know this, it's a Raspberry Pi. Power supply, SSR down here. This is the crappy little buck converter that I found that I didn't even know I had. It's powering the Pi because this Duet here is running Klipper. So this Duet is a fysetc Duet 1.02. It's like 3 years old. I bought it in early 2018, and attached to it is the way that you used to be able to get a Voron going fast before Klipper. That right there is 2208s in one-time program to spread cycle only mode, connected to the Voron expander that Andre designed. So this right here, this expander board is actually originally designed for ramps. And then Andre made this little connector here so that you can connect it to the Duet. So this way you could theoretically have the 5, 6, 7, 8 steppers on a Duet. Because back in the early V2.0 days, you had either ramps or you had Duet, okay? If you wanted to run a Voron at beyond 100 millimeters or at all. So the problem with going with ramps and 8-bit Marlin at the time, you were literally limited to a maximum speed of 100 millimeters a second. With 8 motors or 7 motors going, you beyond 100, you were losing steps, okay? So the other option was you spend the cost on a Duet and a Duex, okay? In Canada, that's like almost $500 at the time. It was stupid expensive. So these clones started showing up. Now, technically they're not clones because it's open source design. And if you download the design from the manufacturer and make your own, it's not cloning, you're making your own. So these are alternatively manufactured fysetc Duets. It's kind of like the E3D. E3D V6 is open source. You're not cloning it if you have the original plans that were free. You're just making your own version of it. So anyways, you buy the Duet or the Duet clone for half the price of a Duet. Put your little expander on it for your +2, and you get this whole setup here that could power it for less than the cost of an original Duet. Yeah, so this was basically half the cost, and you would get full speed. Now with Klipper, they threw it all out the window, but this was before Klipper days. So this has got to come out. That's got to come out. I have a little buck converter here to power a fan. So I won't need this buck converter anymore because the optional selectable voltages. Because you have 3 fans here that have jumpers underneath. So you can have a 5-volt fan, a 12-volt fan, and a 24-volt fan all right here. And then you have like 3 more fans here that can either be 12 or 24 volt. So no need for buck converters. I can get rid of this buck converter. So let's start ripping stuff out here. This is going to be fun. No, lighting. You know what? No, let's use this camera. Sorry. So yeah, I'm actually kind of sad to do this because this Duet has been 100% rock solid for 3 years. I've had absolutely 0 issues with this controller. So I am actually a little bit sad. Will I power the Pi with the fan connectors to the board? On the fysetc Spider, it has a Raspberry Pi power supply connector built right in. So you can fully power a Raspberry Pi, a full-size one, a 3 or a 4, off of this controller board. You do not need a separate power supply or buck converter. It actually has a dedicated hookup with UART right next to it. So I legit am a little, I'm a little emotional right now. It's because this thing has been 100% solid since I started building Borons. Make a shadow box for it. I'll use it for something. It's still a Duet. Like a Duet 2 is still a great controller board. I don't run any of my printers with Stealth Shop, so it's still it's a beast of a board. I might use it for the 3018. We'll see. Then I can run rep firmware on there. Okay, buck converter out. Direct wire all components and add Molex JST when you need to switch one or add connector from start. I don't usually swap my controllers often, so usually when I set them up for how they're going to be long term, usually with one connector. So I would run wires. Like I'm using the pre-made Wireloom. So you have a connector on the one end for Molex Microfit 3 to connect to whatever you're hooking it up to. And then on the other end, JST or Molex KK, depending on what your board uses, or DuPont. Okay, so that's that. I can get rid of this guy. Now, I won't actually be hooking up the Raspberry Pi over UART. I have the option to do that, but I will not be, simply for the fact that I run a panel do, and the panel do on Klipper, you need to hook it to the Raspberry Pi with UART. And with Klipper, you can only use hardware UART. You can't use software UART. So I only have one UART available on the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to save that for the panel do. Because I like the panel do. It's my screwdriver. Provide benchmarks for the board. It's an STMF 32-bit 180 megahertz. It'll perform like every other STMF 32-bit around 180 megahertz in terms of step rate. So let's take a looky-loo here. To step rate. is it? Yeah, here we go. Somebody's already done it. So you have an STMF32F446. That is the controller, or that is the MCU the fysetc Spider uses. So you're looking at 870,000 steps per second that it can do. And compare that to the 23,000 that a Raspberry or a Ramps can do. So I think the SAM4, this is the Duet. Something like that. But yeah. Now here's the thing though. Again, I touched on this last stream. If you're driving your car at the speed limit, it doesn't matter what its max speed is if it's over the speed limit, because you're only ever driving at the speed limit. So if you only ever print at 100 millimeters a second with 300 travels, and you don't have any issues at that going, or you're not having any like lost steps or skip steps or stuttering, and you go to a faster controller board, you're not going to see any benefit. Okay, so expander out. Rev A. There's another thing. I don't know if it's going to fit. I might have to move some stuff around. So again, this was all built before there was a standard. So here's a close-up view of the expander board. So how it works is this was originally designed to hook up to a ramps, and you have this board here, and this goes over these, and then it just plugs into the Raspberry Pi, and you have 3 step sticks. So because there's no UART control over this bridge, these are just in standalone mode. So I have them one-time programmed. So these will only ever run in dumb mode in spread cycle mode. So you have to set them with the pot and whatnot. A little bit of history there. Put the Duet in the frame and hang it on the wall in case of emergency MCU. I'll put it to use. It's still a good MCU. What time are we at? 250, yeah. So I'll get this ripped out, and then we'll end the stream. Put the buck up here. Oh, okay. You're concerned with running those? No, you're well fine. Believe me, with Klipper on a 32-bit board, there's pretty much no advantage of going to dual MCU. Performance-wise, you won't see anything different, because you take a little bit of a hit when you go down to. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm trying to find it here. Micro MCU, nope. Yeah, so again, STMF32F407. So this is a GTR. You're looking at 922,000 steps per second with one stepper. With 3 of them going at the same time, it's still 711. That's well beyond what you need to run a V2. Okay, like considering most people are running them with like a Duet, you're 500. I've never had step issues with this, and yeah, so there's really no benefit to going to 2. So 3 years of use on a fysetc Duet clone. If you guys are curious about what it looks like after that. A little bit dusty, but it's fine. What else do we got here? Depending on your microstepping, that's with 16-bit or 16 MS. Do you think it's worth to run Klipper on a lull? It is worth it to run Klipper on any printer. Okay, like go back and watch the live stream when I installed Klipper on an Ender 3 V2. We ended up getting like 300 millimeters a second, 5K XL out of it, printing stuff. Like well beyond what it could handle with Marlin. So. Okay, so we got that out, that's out. This is bed stuff. Cut all the zip ties. Cut all the zip ties. Try not to cut the motor wires. Still need the Z motor wires. There we go. So there is your V2.1 to 2.2 to 2.4 silicone handmade wire loom. I'm gonna hang it on the wall. So we still got motor wires under here. We got power supply. I don't know where these go. Oh, that's the bed, I think. Actually, no, because these are... Yeah, I had to power that separate, so I can get rid of that. So I'm going to have to do some cleaning up under here. Because stuff is going to have to move around, I think. Let me... This view. So, fun fact, I don't have DIN. I have a printed bracket here. And it doesn't fit. It might fit. Let me see if it fits. Because this is a big boy. Yeah, it'll fit. I'll make it fit. Yeah, that'll fit. So, I'm going to go like... I want it going like that. And then have a fan blowing across there. Or do I want it like that? Then all the wires got to come around for that, and then that. And that, and then the hookups there. Yeah, I'll have it like this. I'll have it like that. How fast printing with Klipper on low-end machines like the Ender effect? Go look on YouTube. Go look up, how do you say it? Niktam. Nktam, I think is how you say it. He's the guy who's been doing, like, he has the record for speed benchy at the moment with a Delta. It's like sub 6 minutes, I believe. But he did like a 14-minute benchy on an Ender 3, a fully stock Ender 3. All he did was flash Klipper on it. So, yeah. Literally, if you have a printer and it's 8-bit, put Klipper on it if you have a Raspberry Pi kicking around. If you're my Klipper install, notice the option for CAN bus. Would you reconnect more hot ends using it? There is controller boards for hot ends, like tool head boards that use CAN bus that Klipper support now. The HUVUD, HUVUUD or something like that, is the only one that's really available. I think the Duet one is compatible too. I'm not 100% sure. Which bracket am I using? Steve on the Voron Discord made this for me. I'm trying it out. This is actually the very first time this has been mounted. So we'll see. Oh man, how am I going to get these out? So the downside of my design. Okay, so everything kind of looks a little weird under here because this is aluminum. I have an aluminum plate as my bottom plate because back before there was a standard and we didn't know how to lay these out, it was brackets for mounting electronics, and like my power supply is literally mounted to this aluminum plate. okay? There's rubber spacers in there, don't worry, it's isolated. But I have like rubber grommets for all the holes that everything goes through and everything. So this is definitely not a spec layout. So, I guess when I go to remove stuff, I can kind of do the easy way because I'm not reusing it. One way of doing it. That worked. If I need to perform more maintenance by printing past the elite. I haven't done maintenance on this printer in over 1.5 years and it's still printing fine. Like, I don't know. If you build the printer well using good components, you really shouldn't have to worry too much about maintenance. Other than, you know, giving it a quick clean every now and then, wiping down any excess gunk or whatever. But these printers are relatively pretty robust for the most part. That goes there. And actually probably pop this fan out now. I'll have to put that in a different mount. For this, oh, I'm gonna have to fiddle with that. Fiddlesticks. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to fiddle around with mounting for this. I might just drill holes in this plate and mount it right to the plate, because YOLO. I have the ability to do that. That's the one good thing about having an aluminum plate. I can just drill and tap holes in it and mount things wherever I want to the plate. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to drill and I'm going to transfer holes and drill and tap them. And put these little, I got nylon standoffs, PCB standoffs. I think I'm just going to do that. So I'll probably do that on my own time. I'll get everything cleaned up, ready to reassemble starting next on Saturday night. So Saturday night, if for whatever reason the Delta shows up, or correction, not the Delta, the resin printer shows up, I'll start the stream by getting that going, and then we'll move on to working on this. So what am I taking for lunch? I don't know. I still got to make lunch. So it's 3 o'clock. I'm going to call a stream now, guys. Cheers to all who hung out during this. I try to get the odd daytime stream in for you guys in Euroland and for those that are bored at work. So cheers to you guys. Anyone who donated, you guys are all awesome. It goes into helping content I create, the thing I do, yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're entertained. Hope you learned something. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. I got to go to work. I'm hungry. Goodbye.